Hi there. Now I'm going to talk about QlikSense desktop hub overview. So basically, just I have launched the QlikSense desktop, which is on my desktop. So basically, today I want to talk about the QlikSense desktop hub overview and getting started with QlikSense desktop. So once you launch a QlikSense desktop, I'll be prompted with the ID and password as I have covered in my uh, previous sessions. You have to have an ID to use the QlikSense desktop, which you would have registered when you when you download the desktop. So I'll just give and I'll just log into the desktop with my ID. So once you log in, so you can check this one, remember password. So every time you don't have to give the credentials. So once the QlikSense opens up, this is called the hub, wherein you can see on the left pane, this is work area. Basically, when I just say like this is personal, so I'm talking about right now the desktop. So you are seeing only this icon. So if you have QlikSense Enterprise, you will have one more pane here saying streams. So once you publish your dashboard to stream, so you can see. So that is about in QlikSense Enterprise. So let me just stick on to this QlikSense desktop, otherwise maybe I'll be confusing you. So uh, this is work area. What you see here is the test app. This is one of the dashboard, and what I have all my collections content is, so where is the physical location of this file? The physical location of this file will be when you install the software, you would have given the where your app content should go. So my app QlikSense app content folder is this one. So in this, go to sense, then click on apps. So this is the test app. So all the QlikSense apps are with the .qf extension, and so the same file is being picked up when you launch the QlikSense desktop. So I'll um, go on to give you the overview of like what are the different icons and how to use it and how to get started with this. So if I click on this top left corner, sorry, not here. So let me just go ahead and create a test app. So this is the icon where whenever you want to create a new dashboard, so you need to click on this create new app, give a name, test app 1. So just click on create. Then it prompts you to, as you can see, that has already come up. So you can just open the app. Once you open up the app, as you can see here, like basically what you need some source data to build any dashboard or report. So it gives like two options here. One is add data from files or other sources. So you can directly drag and drop. If we have source data in let's say Excel, so you can just drag and drop that Excel. It will take that file as a source. In other way, if you want to, so the other option is like script editor. So load data and perform transformation using data load editor. So if you want to do some transformations on the source data, so better to go with this approach. So any kind of full-fledged app development, so we'll go with the second option. So let me just click on the second option. So once I open that, as you can see here, I am prompted with this window. So basically this is a script editor. So QlikSense has a proprietary scripting language. It is basically SQL based. So if you are good with SQL, you can manage to learn Qlik scripting, and you need to have some scripting background, and you need to learn some specific Qlik keywords to master QlikSense scripting. So here in this window, as you can see here, you do the scripting to load the, basically the scripting is to do fetch the data into the QlikSense and do the transformations, do the data massaging, and to come up with a data model. So you have to do it through scripting. So here, if I click on this mark here, so there are a lot of options. So app overview. So if I click on app overview, so sorry, let me just go back to, I'll just take an example to explain each of these. So let me just go to the previous window was called data load editor. So this window is called data load editor. So basically data load editor is where you do the scripting to fetch the data into Qlik and do the ETL as I explained. So I'll just reveal one tip here, like if you just say on your this one control 00, so it is only added a script for me. So this is kind of trick I just learned, which is actually helpful in doing some sample dashboard just to build some sample data. So I'm not going to get into much of scripting details here, as this is just an overview session on QlikSense desktop. So quickly, I just want to come up with a data model and explain each of these and how to use these different options. So once you have, so basically assume that I have written this script. So once you have done that, just save it. Then this is the where once you have written the script, so you need to run that script. So whatever you see here is like the data, everything is in line. So inline data is something where you just type everything here that will be taken as input data. So if I click on, so once you write everything, so to come up with a data model, so you have to load the data, you have to run the script. To run this script, click on the right corner here, the load data. So as you can see, it says run script and refresh app data from data sources. So if you have different data sources in your scripting, so once you click it on load data here, so it will fetch the data into QlikSense. So as you can see, it will give a pop-up window where it shows the details of your script run. So as I say, finish successfully. If there is any error in your scripting, it will pop out here, and your data load will fail. So this is going to say like when with some finished with some error. So zero forced errors, zero synthetic keys. So it has run successfully. I'll just click on close. So now let me go back to this left drop down. So now we have the data. So where can I see that data? So if you go to data manager, so I just clicked on the data manager, so it will prompt you with this window. So here basically the script has created three kinds of table. This is, if you just click on this, this is more of like data manager is like As you can see here, this table is added using the data load script. Synchronize your scripted tables to view and modify with data manager. Do not synchronize your script tables if your script contain exit statement. So basically what is this data manager is more of, I would say, like self-service BI, because as a QlikSense advanced developer, as personally I don't use this much. So this is more of for the self-service BI where it gives an user interface where user can see the table. So if I click on let's say synchronize, what is going to happen? So I'll just click on that. So as you can see, like automatically this has built on kind of model here. So this is what happens with self-service BI. So in this data manager, it gives an option wherein it will correlate data with itself with the intrinsic QlikSense intelligence. So if I click on transaction now, you can see the data in this. So in transaction we have, these are the different fields and the data. This is kind of a preview of your table. So we have like 3 tables here, and if you can see, all are like joined with a key. So there is the joining field is the num. So basically, yeah. Also shows like number of fields and recommended associations table, total tables 3, unassociated tables 0. So all 3 tables are associated here through this link, as you can see. So select any 2 table links to view the associated details. So if I select like this, so as you can see that these 2 tables are connected through this common field over here, ASCII num. So what happens is, if your data is in the right format, so based on the common, the first how the QlikSense inbuilt behavior is like, if we have a common field name, so based on that it will try to make an association between 2 tables. If that is the first trace, otherwise the second would be like, even QlikSense goes one step ahead, and if the data type, the kind of data that is there in particular field, if matches with the another field data, so it is try to correlate with that based on the data in a particular field. If it is of the same kind, let's say like you have a serial number in one table, in another table you have just num, maybe the field names are different but both are number fields. So based on that it is going to or let's say, if I give another example, if you have country name in one field and in another table you have it as a just maybe region, maybe the field names are different but still both gives the country name. So based on that it's going to make a automatic association. So this is what is the out of the box feature. This is more of a self-service BI capability that QlikSense is offering. So but now what I want to do is, if you want to just do like this, if you don't want the association, you can just drag it aside and let's say this, and let me go to the most this is about the data manager. So I just explained you about the data load editor, and let me go to the data load editor is where we have the script and data model viewer. So this is the most important thing. So wherein you can see actually the data model that is built through your scripting. So as you can see, we have like three tables here: transaction, characters, and all three are associated with this key. So this is where you can see the data model. So just go to this data model viewer. Then there's option like app overview. So click on this. So this is where you create your front end. So what we did is, first step is data load editor, where we did the scripting to pull the data into Qlik, and we built the data model, which we can see in the data model viewer. Then the third step is the now we have the data and data model. So here you can also preview the data. The data model, so click on transaction, and there are some icons here. As you can see, if I click on this icon, show preview, so it is going to preview me the data in this particular table. So it gives all these statistical details, sorry, the metadata details, number of rows, fields, keys, etc. So, and what else we have? This is about layout, grid layout, total layout. So this is more of the formatting part of it. I'll just back to the layout. So we have one more this zoom in zoom out option. So let me quickly, so there are three tabs here, as you can see. So this is present in the only the latest version of QlikSense. So the second tab is about analysis. Once you have the data model, basically you can start building your reports and charts in the dashboard. So this is where you build the dashboard. Before going into this, I'll just explain this story. So storyboard is nothing but where you would be creating something like a I'll just say something similar. The story building is something similar to the PowerPoint presentation that we do in Microsoft. So basically, you can take some screenshot of your charts here, and this is to create something like a presentation to the user about your dashboard. So this is our story. So I'll just go back to this field here. So here if I click on app overview, this shows kind of home screen. Here you have your app name, when it is last loaded, this is of today's date, then the path, even it shows the path, physical path of your file. As I said, this is .qvf file, and you can see like there are sheets, bookmark, stories. So one click view dashboard can have multiple sheets. So right now I have only one sheet. As you can see, this is the sheet already defaultly created. I can click on this, or I can create a new one. So if I, let's say, create new one, it will ask for the title and description. I'll say my new sheet 2. So you have two sheets now. So what is a sheet? In a sheet, you can create multiple chart objects. So I just opened up one sheet. So it says like the sheet is empty. So the sheet that you see, this is kind of a canvas where you build your dashboard. So this is where you create different kinds of charts. So just click on edit, and once you click on edit, what you see here is fields. So the field is like where you can see all the fields in your data model. And what are the, we have like mainly three tables. If you click on this, you can see there are three tables, and if I select particular table, it is going to show me all the fields in that table. So here, as you can see, the it is showing here. You can just drag and drop and build your charts. It's not that simple, but it provides some drag and drop option, but still you have to write some expressions to come up with a meaningful chart. So I'll just explain one sample, creating a sample chart. So before that, let me explain different things here. So the master item chart, we were going to master item. I'll go to charts, and these are the different charts that you can. These are out of the box charts that you can build in this QlikSense dashboard. So I'll just try to come up with a sample chart. Let me just drag and drop this bar chart here. So once I do that, I can just resize this, and this is based on your resolution. It will the layout gets automatically adjusted. So you can drag and drop multiple objects. You can resize it, but once I say it done, as you can see, it will based on the screen size. It will the layout of this page gets automatically adjusted there based on the resolution. So once you drag and drop a particular chart, you need at least one dimension and one measure. This is a bar chart. Just click on to delete this. So you need to add a dimension. So if you click on add dimension, it will just give list of all the dimensions. Let me select a sample dimension. And as I said, to build plot any chart, you need in case of normal charts like bar chart or line chart, you need one dimension and one measure. So here, just click on measure. If I select particular, let's say expression 1, so it will pops out like you have to have some aggregation for your expression. So for a measure, so I'll say just sum of expression. So as you can see, a sample chart has come up. And on the right pane, you can further adjust, like let's say I want to add some more dimensions here, you can add it. Or I want to add some more measures, that you can do it over here. Or I want to edit the expression, that you can do it over here. And this is about, if I click on done, so I can see this chart. Go back to edit option, and master items I'm going to cover in another session. This is just to getting started with I'll just give just explain it very little bit here over here. Master item is something that you want to, let's say I want to reuse particular dimension, or let's say I have a calculated dimensions, or I have some calculated measure, so that I'm going to use in multiple chart objects. So what, instead of writing every time that creating that dimension in all the charts, you can just make it as master item, and you can just use it in multiple chart objects. This gives a reusable capability in Qlik. So master item helps us to reuse existing visualization, existing measure, existing dimension in multiple chart objects, rather than creating it again and again. So this is about master item. And we have like custom objects. Custom objects is something like these are the chart object that QlikSense provides out of the box. Let's say you want a particular kind of chart which is not present in this list. So Qlik provides a feature called custom objects. wherein these are extension objects which you can import from. So in the Qlik community, Qlik brand site, there are a lot of extension objects created by the community that you can download and import it here. As you can see, there are already some custom objects which are included as part of the installation. So this is about custom object. And if you click over here, the small icon, this is a variable. So this is where you can create the variables. So yep, I think I have covered most of it in terms of QlikSense, how QlikSense desktop getting started. So I hope I have not missed anything. So this is Open Hub. So it will just take you to the home screen of your QlikSense Hub. So this is about QlikSense desktop, an overview getting started. I hope this will be helpful. Thank you.